I guess it's, gosh, it's afternoon now. Well, I never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. And the Epstein files in most of their entirety have been released. There may be a few stragglers, and of course, we are going to be waiting on, the excuses as to why certain pages were redacted. But I can tell you with a very simple search, I was able to pull up one single page, and that's what we will look at today. One single page in which Donald Trump's name is all over the Epstein files from multiple accusers, dozens, and this is just the first page I pulled up out of 5,000 mentions of Donald Trump's name. And this just released within the last few hours. This is why we're going to do this second show today, to show you guys this. Millions and millions of records released. And the very first page I pull up with Donald Trump's name in it has some of the most bizarre accusations that you've ever heard of. This is a letter between two individuals. Special Agent Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force, FBI, and these were the claims, and this is what I'm going to go over today. Now, if you're a victim blamer or a non-believer of why a person in their right mind would come forward with a false claim against someone when they have nothing to gain and everything to lose, it's not like they can sue Donald Trump and get money. They have everything to lose because now they become a target. If you're one of those people that wants to not believe any of the claims or any of the victims, you might want to click off of this show. But if you are sitting in truth and you understand that nobody in their right mind would make a false claim like this against a sitting president, then you're going to want to stay tuned, because there are dozens and dozens and dozens. There are some billionaires listed here, at least millionaires. We're beginning to peel back the scene in Florida where a lot of this happened. And if you think that the governor of Florida at the time that these things happened didn't know anything about this, then you're also probably living in the dark. We're going to let a few more people come in and we're going to start reading this. Are you guys getting sound glitching? Let's see here. Let's check the sound first before we get into this. Yeah, it's a cold day here in Arkansas. How's the sound, you guys? I do have the heater blowing in the background, so you might hear a little bit of background noise, but sound should be coming through loud and clear, unless YouTube's playing with the algorithms. Now, share this video. No, Trump is not innocent. He's listed literally thousands of times in the files. So now we know why they were waiting and waiting and waiting to release the files. And we're going to go over that now. This is going to tie in certain events that Trump hosted in which he was involved in some of these things, or allegedly, right? And there are people mentioned, specific people that we can actually cross-reference. And so let's go ahead and get into this. So this is a letter that was sent. Now, we have not seen this to this point. Sent August 7th. This is a list of the complaints. And these aren't really specific to Trump in a lot of this. It's specific to other people in which Trump's name is drug in and mentioned alongside of it. So that's the context of this. So I want to be clear about that as well. This wasn't just a targeted email about Trump, right? These were complaints about other people in which Trump's name was mentioned. So that gives it some validity and some credibility. If they were making claims against other people, that gives it some credibility. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is the complaint summary. This is a long list. We're going to get through as much of this as we can. And again, this is the very first page I pulled up. In the newly released, if you're just tuning in, they just released what they claim to be almost all of the rest of the files. 3 million more documents. There's videos in here, but we just pulled up the first page. Blank reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral on the President Trump 35 years ago in New Jersey. Friend told Alexis that she was 13 to 14 years old when this occurred. And the friend allegedly bit Trump while performing the act. We're going to fill in some of the blanks because I'm not sure what's okay for YouTube. The friend allegedly was hit in the face after she laughed about biting him, Trump. Friend said she was also abused by Epstein. So these are leads called into the FBI. Remember, the crime for submitting a false report to the FBI is a huge crime. You could literally be put in jail for that. Okay, so think about the context of these claims. Blank reported she has a friend who was a personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 86 to 91 or 92. Friend shared names of some of the guests at Epstein's parties to include Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. No big deal there. Just guests at a party during the time that Trump said that he was still friends with Epstein, so nothing to see there. Here's one. At age 16, while modeling, caller attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, caller reported she was assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin. Now, I looked this up. These are real people. We're going to look at that. They lured the caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped her best friend and a third brother, Tall, raped a 14-year-old named Blank. Caller named other individuals involved in big orgy parties with her, other young girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Online complainant reported she was a victim and witness to trafficking ring at the Trump golf course at Rancho Palos Verdes between 95 and 96. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell was the madam and broker for the sex parties, clients of whom included Trump, Robin Leach, and Donald. Then they say, oh, complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate something. So if they were not credible, why did they get in trouble? Why didn't they get in trouble by the FBI? Complainant reported participating in orgies that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump, then head of security, that if she ever talked of what went on there, who she saw, he would end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other C words. Complainant claims to have video of high-profile sex parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Claims, here's another one. He was contacted by a female victim of the stain who wants to publish a book. Now, understand, let me back up here. Complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Of course, if there's a cover-up, this is what you would do. You would discredit the person making the claim, right? So if the FBI was obviously part of this cover-up, because all these people came forward and no one was arrested, Ghislaine Maxwell just got done saying yesterday that there were 26 millionaires and billionaires that struck deals to not be prosecuted. So obviously there was a cover-up. So the first thing they're going to try to do is discredit and threaten the people that are coming forward. And that's where we have all of the victims that have already come forward. So I'm sure they're going to be cross-referencing some of these stories as well. They might have been some of the people that called in to report these stories and their testimonies. Claims he was contacted, so this is a man, by a female victim of the stain who wants to publish a book. Complainant provided background for himself, such as working with prominent figures such as Les Wexner, Epstein, being pardoned by the U.S. president, among several other pieces of information. The victim reportedly knew about criminal activity that occurred in multiple states and on airplanes, and told complainant there were films of prominent men such as Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, and that Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. No probative information. That means they did not probe any further, I think, that is what that means. Here's another one. Complainant reported meeting a Lisa Villanueva at a hospital where they were roommates in 2000, who now goes by Ghislaine Lisa Villanueva. Complainant was invited by Villanueva to a party at Palm Beach Island, Florida, at a residence she believes to have belonged to Epstein. There she met a model scout named Buddy Cox, whom Villanueva allegedly referred to as a pimp. Complainant stated Villanueva spoke with a hostess at the residence, whom complainant believed to be Ghislaine Maxwell. While at the party, the complainant stated that they had all been invited by Donald Trump to a party at Mar-a-Lago. Complainant told Villanueva she wanted to go to that party and allegedly told by Villanueva that it was for prostitutes. Wow. When the complainant was 14 years old, Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly approached her about modeling, international travel, massages. Complainant never reached out to Maxwell because the offer sounded as if it was mostly based around modeling, which complainant was unable to do because of blank. Complainant made a podcast of her story about her encounter with Ghislaine Maxwell when she was approximately 14 to 15 years old. And I think this is like the response column. Let me go back up here. Oh yeah, this is the response column. Now, interestingly, look at this. The criminal history column is blanked out. That's probably to protect the complainant or whatever. So here's the response. Spoken with twice. First time said she was a Pilates instructor and went to Epstein's once. Second time called the royal family, was contacting her about image of Prince Andrews and Geoffrey. Claimed she would send email to corroborate. No email received. So they just drop it. Wow. Voicemail left. No response. Now, how do we corroborate this? They basically just shine these people on. All these complaints. You guys, there are thousands of these complaints. And they just made some nifty little story to say, oh, nothing to see here, move along. Let's read this one. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriends were victims of Epstein, and one was murdered while working on... Now, we suspected this to be the case. I said, there's no way that you have all these rich and powerful people abusing all these young girls without some of them. There must have been some murders to cover it up, because there are people that are angry and they want to speak out and talk. And if you're a billionaire and you already know hitmen, it would be really easy to just do this, wouldn't there? Or throw them out the back of a plane. Or you got them isolated on an island with no electronic surveillance, and you could disappear them right off the island. So we knew this was happening, and now we're finally starting to hear the stories that corroborate a lot of what we thought was going on. Let's keep reading. While working as a limo driver, complainant recalled picking up Trump in '95 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth. So we already heard this story. Here's another one. Caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. No contact made. Lives in Australia. So there's this weird Australian component. This is where Virginia Giuffre died as well, right? You're going to hear Australia come up quite a bit. Here's another one. Complainant reported her neighbor sought modeling gigs at Trump Modeling Agency in New York City between the years of '98 and 2000. Complainant reported neighbor allegedly went on cruises set up by a recruiter or head of the agency. Showed complainant a photo of the recruiter, whom complainant recalled looking like Epstein. Complainant reported neighbor was allegedly raped several times during the time period. And again, what was the response? Contact was made, but no contact information provided for actual victims. So there's a cover story for every single one of these. Here's another one. Caller provided information to reference prior civil case from 13 years ago that involved Trump and mentioned Epstein with a minor. No contact made. Called the SDNY hotline. We'll read a couple more of these, but you guys get the point. This goes on for pages and pages and pages, and Trump is in almost every single one. Complainant followed up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip. Reported that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in '84. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her trafficking and murder and disposal. Okay, we already heard this story before. So this is a summary of the stories we've already heard before and a lot of new ones. Here's a new one. Caller was taken by boat to Epstein Island. Caller said it was complicated and involved Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Caller became a school counselor and had a meeting with the school principal, Linda Kitts, and a police officer where the caller was informed there were pictures of herself with Epstein. Caller reported the school was mad at her for not being a Trump person. Wow. And that the school wanted her to testify and say things against Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone during the meeting. Caller believed the FBI has baby pictures of her with Epstein. No contact made. Previous tips indicate blank had called in and said she had chemically induced amnesia and struggling with knowing what was a dream and reality. Unbelievable. Now let's back up a little bit, because when we first started the show, we were talking about those two twin brothers. Well, here they are. Wealthy Florida brothers face trial over alleged decades of abuse. But here's what's interesting. Wait, do they mention? Oops. Control F. Epstein. Nope. Epstein is nowhere in here mentioned. So there you go. There's the cover up right there. This is the problem with our justice system. They do a whole indictment against these twin brothers, but nowhere in here do you understand that it's connected to the Epstein ring and Trump. It's covered up, because the way our justice system works is that how do I explain this? It only addresses what's being prosecuted, right? And they do that on purpose. That way you can't see all the other things that are connected to a lot of these things. But literally, these twin brothers were hanging out with Epstein and Trump, according to one of the victims' claims. Let me check in with you guys. We'll keep going with this. Unbelievable. Now, if you're just tuning in, we're going through the newly released Epstein files. We pulled up pretty much the second or third page in a list of 5,000 pages as a search result for Donald Trump. 5,000 mentions. Now, not all of those are, of course, implicating him, but the very first couple of pages we pulled up, I found this. We're going through the summary of the FBI tip hotline that people called in to make accusations against Trump and Epstein and many other millionaires and billionaires. Let's keep going, you guys. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, victim, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim 1 saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave Victim 1 a drink. Victim 1 woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. So there was could be some possible drugging going on. Victim 1 didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. This is how they cover up their crimes. They drug these people, and then you don't remember very well, and then you're discredited because you don't remember. Victim 1 called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim 1 did not go to the hospital to have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially since she was drunk. Victim 1's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and Victim 1 believed Trump was behind it. Victim 1 also started dating a lawyer, identifiers unknown, who was married. Victim 1 had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim 1 left the bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with Victim 1. Victim 1 was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what Victim 1 was wearing when she was missing. DNA tests at the time were inconclusive. What was the response? No contact made. Victim identified is deceased, and complainant did not have confirmed information. So some of these people were killed. This is full of murder, cover-ups. Unbelievable. Let's read a couple more of these. In 2004-2005, Sir Ivan Wilczek hosted a party where Jeffrey Epstein, Sammy Sosa, Donald Trump were in attendance. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door. At the party, caller met an individual who was approximately 18 to 23 years of age, who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France. Several women were being auctioned, and a woman possibly known as Colette LNU was the madam. A couple of years later, Colette saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of the Santos friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending a night with her, and that he could also pay her a lot of money. Wow, so they were having auctions of women. Phone number provided was bad, could not identify a valid number. So, see how all this is just written off? Donald Trump, here's another one. The president had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. Separate testimony. Both talking about female auctions. Two different people. Oh, it's all made up. Unbelievable. We get what we deserve in America if we just overlook this and let it go under the rug. We get what we deserve. Let's keep reading. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's, oh my gosh. Wow, we can't even read that. Measured them on tightness. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Don Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, Eric Trump were there. Dershowitz was there with Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral to Donald Trump, forced to allow them. Wow, 13 years old. Ghislaine Maxwell was present. What was the response on this? No contact information provided. Oh, we don't think to follow up. We have phone records and everything. Why wouldn't they follow up on a person making a phone call like that? Unbelievable. Here's some more. Oh, so this is just the same thing here. They're forwarding this message around. So this was just the first page. Let's go back. All I did was search Trump. Let's take a look. Come on. You kidding me? Wow. Did they just disable it? Maybe I need to recycle it. Okay, let's try this. Refresh this. Okay, there we go. So what I just pulled up was, I think it was this one. Dataset 10, this PDF file. See the 666 in the number there? Weird. So there's much more of this all throughout here. Of course, it's going to take months and months for all of us to go through all of this stuff. But that was just the first page of thousands. 5,361 results. And so obviously I'm going to go through this over the coming days and weeks and try to bring you guys any pertinent information. But this is insane, you guys. Literally insane. I'd like to get your thoughts on some of this. This guy was a deviant. Okay. I got to calm down. Auctioning off little girls. One single document out of 5,000. You can only imagine what's going to be in these files. You can only imagine. Wow. Yeah, and I suspected as much that, Trump's children, because they're all listed in Epstein's black book. We knew Ivanka's name was in there, her phone numbers. Why would Epstein have Ivanka Trump's phone number? You see what I'm saying? Ivanka was sent to Casablanca's modeling school when Trump already knew that Casablanca's married a 16-year-old girl or something like this, and that he was openly interested in children. Why would Trump send 12 or 13-year-old Ivanka to go to his modeling school when he already knew Casablanca's was like that? Because this is part of it. She might be a victim too. Was a victim. Who knows what she's up to now? And then Trump, even after Casablanca's was like convicted and arrested and accused, Trump sent him down to South America to run part of his real estate empire down in South America. He was sat on the board, on Trump's board. Come on. Come on. Who do you know that does business with PDF files? Who do you know that does that? I don't know any. Do you guys know any? So there you go. And it wasn't even just a business associate. They were close because he sent his daughter there. He sent his own daughter there. So he must have been close with this man. So I don't think this will be the end of Trump, to be honest with you. People are in a cult. They have fallen under the strong delusion. And you know what? I got news for you. For those of you that are under the strong delusion, remember what the Bible says and never ever forget about the millstone around the neck of the people who harm the children. And that would include people defending the people who harmed the children. It's shaping up to be the man of lawlessness. He can do whatever he wants, and he never goes to jail. He never goes to jail. Now, we all knew all of this. We knew it in our gut for years. Didn't we? I even suspected that Trump was one that took Epstein out. Why would he do that? Well, Epstein died the day after Trump's names were listed in the flight logs. It was in August. It was like August 10th. The next day, Epstein was quote unquote killed. Maybe Trump was mad. He's like, enough is enough. And that was the chink in the armor, wasn't it? Because before that, there was only accusations about Trump's, how far he went with Epstein. And then remember, the MAGA crowd was like, he never flew on the Lolita Express. He never ever did. Boom, the flight logs came out. There's Donald Trump's name on the Lolita Express. Now, there's no proof he flew to the island because you can't fly to the island. There's no airstrip. You fly somewhere else, you get on a boat or a submarine to get to the island. So, of course, he never flew to Epstein Island. Nobody flew there unless they came in on a helicopter. So, we knew this. And he flew several times on Epstein's plane. And Epstein flew on Trump's jet a few times as well. He's in Trump's flight logs. They were flying onto each other's planes. And I told you back then, I said, you know what? Who flies on a plane named after an abused girl? Who does that? These were adult men. They knew what a Lolita was. Trump knew. Now you can say, oh, that happened before he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Well, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was a hot potato. He started being investigated. That's what criminals do. We see it all the time on TV, right? Oh, you're getting too much heat. I gotta lay low. It's not always for moral reasons why you kick someone out of Mar-a-Lago or somewhere. It's not just a slam dunk for moral reasons. He was getting too much heat. The heat was coming down. So there you just heard the testimonies of a dozen different people with similar stories, and the FBI didn't think, oh, wow, 2 or 3 of these people are talking about auctioning girls off that don't even know each other. Maybe we should dig a little bit deeper into this. This sounds like trafficking. They just dropped the ball. Oh, no further contact. Oh, we can't look at phone records. We can't triangulate cell phone towers and found out where that person came from. And here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I bet you the FBI just turned the names and information. They probably did investigate the victims, and then they turned them over to the henchmen to be electronically harassed, stalked, and threatened. And that's probably why they never or disappeared. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest about what really happened. So I'm back in the chat. I just wanted to show that with you guys, and I wanted to share my thoughts on this because people are so divided on this, I'm shocked they released the files, but they probably did it. They probably like poll tested this, and they're like, okay, let's see what people would say if we actually finally admitted that all this happened. And they probably realized, wow, we've got people so dumbed down, they're not even going to care. Business as usual. So, wow, right? So this is the best we could have ever hoped for. We knew there weren't going to be like actual cases, and there probably will, because actually Ghislaine Maxwell says, let's look this up. Ghislaine Maxwell, 29. Let's look this up here. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the news tab. News. Okay. So we just read this the other day. She says 29 people reached secret Epstein settlements. Now this should be in the files because the settlement's nothing secret anymore, right? She says they reach secret settlements. That's the Epstein list. Ta-da! The list everybody said didn't exist. 29 people, 4 co-conspirators reached secret settlements. So these names have never been named. Claim is found in a lengthy habeas corpus petition filed by Maxwell on December 17th, 2025. And the Courthouse News obtained the entire petition. Wow. 25 men with secret settlements were not indicted as part of the investigation because they just settled. So here's how it works. They gave the victims millions of dollars. The victim said, okay, we'll never speak of this again. And they cashed out. But does that mean we shouldn't get to hear about this? These are people who were raping children that are running our country. We need to hear about this. Doesn't matter that they struck a deal with the victims. We don't want PDF files running our country. See the problem with our justice system? It doesn't matter if you sign a deal with someone and pay them money. There should always be a way to find out the truth about what is happening. I mean, this is almost amounts to sealed records that for youth, people that commit crimes before they become adults, and then their records are sealed. And even that I have kind of a problem with. But grown men striking deals, and just because they have money, they can cover up their crimes? This is insane, you guys. What kind of country are we living in? This is our justice system. Now, I could go back and look to see if there's any other files in here. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's do a quick summary through here because there might be something else that jumps out while I got you guys on here. Okay. See, some of this stuff is just news. So here's the one we just read. Completion in 1985, it became Trump Castle. His wife Ivana managed it until 1988. Trump Castle? The heck? There's a Trump Castle? Let's look at this. Wait, what? You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Okay, this is just some kind of... What is this? What? Oh, this is just an article. Some kind of article. Okay. We're not here to look at articles, really. I mean... Wait. What? Yeah, some kind of article. Let's try a different one. A lot of stuff about the Taj Mahal. Hillary Clinton in a bar? What? Now, of course, there's probably other people in these files. Okay? But we already know they're guilty. The ones saying that they're not guilty, well, they're all saying they're not guilty. But, Trump is saying, I'm squeaky clean. No, you're not. What about all these people? Okay, let's see here. What's all this? So this is more about the auction. Some more of these accusations that we already read. Whoa, here's one. Oh, that's Katie Johnson. We already know that story. But here's some more details in it. Let's take a look here. Katie Johnson versus Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Wow. Trump child rape claim for $100 million denied by Trump attorney. Wow. What is this? Oh my gosh. This looks like the case or something. I don't know. I'm not going to read through all that. So I'll do my diligence on this and try to get through as much of this as I can. I just thought something might jump out at us that's worth reporting. I'm sure you guys are going to hear a lot more. I wish this was more searchable, I know there are some websites or people have taken the files, downloaded all the information and made it like searchable, easier to kind of browse through. And there's videos attached to this, you guys. They said there were hundreds of videos. So we're going to see all that with the faces redacted of what actually happened to some of these victims. So I'll hop on this. Let me go back into the chat, check in on you guys. Oh, shocking, isn't it? Oh, this is on the .gov website. That's where it's at. It's at justice.gov / Epstein. Super simple. And you do the search. You search the library. You pop in the name right here or whatever you want to look for. Let's look at Clinton. Let's look at Bill Clinton. Might as well while we're here, right? Clintron. Made 32 plane trips to Epstein Island. You can't fly to Epstein Island, so he flew to a nearby island and took a boat probably. So here's some stuff on him. All right. 32 trips. A lot of this stuff is repeat stuff. Jeez. Wonder if Hillary's in here. Okay, this person has information about a sexual predator who was a pilot for Bill Clinton. He may or may not be involved in Jeffrey Epstein scandal, but I believe something. That's some kind of an email. Let's take a look here. Let's look at this one. Okay, so this is more reports going into, let's see, is this to the FBI again? Can't really tell. Forwarding all the tips. Epstein investigation. So this person's basically reporting Bill Clinton's pilot. I am one of his abandoned children and can say that his profile fits that, some of which who could assist your inquiries and maybe with personal involvement. He shows strong indications of being a sociopath. Well, okay, that's really nothing there. You don't really know if he's a sociopath. So you have proof. So we'll just, you know, some of this stuff is not real, but others absolutely is. Okay, this one's talking about some kind of dinner at Bill Clinton, underage 4 Russian girls. The heck? Why isn't this front page news? Wow, this is crazy. Let's read this one just to give this a fair balance. Looks like there's some entries here, some let's see here. Oh, let's just do this. It's my belief that Blank intended to convey that impression when she was trying to sell her story to various media, which she successfully sold her story to in Britain, that she wanted to keep that open as a possibility. And then, when I firmly declared, based on my research, that Bill Clinton had almost certainly never been on that island. So this is, I think this is, she then made a firm statement that she, which was a blank, which was a perjurous statement, a firm perjurous statement saying that although Bill Clinton had been with her on the island and had dinner with her, the perjurious statement was that Bill Clinton had been on the island with her. The lie was that she described in great detail a dinner with Bill Clinton and 2 underage Russian women were offered to Bill Clinton for sex, but that Bill Clinton turned down. So she then put an affidavit. So we know that Bill Clinton was on the island. So whatever this person is saying about this woman and him saying that he knows certainly that Bill Clinton was not on the island is obviously a lie. Let's back this up. Yeah, it's kind of hard to piece all this together. We're going to have to sit down and do some research on this. But wow, what a trip. And I'll put a link to the government website so you guys can look through it. But it's really hard to scan through all this stuff because it's so disorganized. And there's a lot of noise behind it. There's things that don't even relate to it. It's just too much information. You almost need like an algorithm to go through it and pull out all the stuff, you know? So let's see here. The heck? Let's back this up. Okay, Bill Clinton, page 2. Here's some more. Bill Clinton came to your island, blank, you, Bill Clinton and defendant Maxwell, all 19, were accompanied by 2 young women who flew something. It is true that you helped Bill Clinton on your private jet. That's the Virginia to Free Clinton Foundation. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell was working with the Clinton Foundation. She was very close to Bill Clinton and Hillary. So all these people are implicated. Bill Clinton, Naomi Campbell, others flew on Epstein. Bill Clinton encouraged Donald Trump to run. Oh, I can see that. Sounds like run for president. Here's a claim. Bill Clinton was at an orgy on Jeffries. The implication that Bill Clinton had improperly something. Okay. All right, you guys, this is pretty fruitless at this point. I'm going to go through all this. All right, anything you guys want to talk about before we pop off of here? Search rituals. Okay, good. All right, now you guys are waking up here. Okay, let's do this. Search a ritual. See if that comes up. Yeah, we need some search words. That's going to give us the juice, right? Whoa. Understanding sexual ritual is the key to investigating certain sex offenders. It is not always easy to distinguish between modus operandi and ritual. Who's saying this? The heck? Oh, this is just a behavioral analysis on PDF files, it looks like. So yeah, they're going to talk about that in there. Okay, let's back this up. Probably the same thing in this. Okay. Ritual. Let's look up auction. That's a good one. And I can take any other search terms that you guys want me to look up. Well, let's look at a couple more pages of this. Hold on. The heck? Yeah, I don't see anything in here. They're not going to call it by what it is, right? That's what they do. That's how they hide. Let's type in auction. Whoa. Bunch of images here. Oh, it's just a car auction. Maybe. Why would it be in the files? Jeffrey, photo of cars at auction. Whoa. Oh, yeah, they're talking about engines and stuff, so I thought maybe that's code for something else, right? All right. How many results? Gosh, that's a lot of results. 3,500 for auction. Sotheby's auctions. All right, let me check in with you guys. Type in adrenochrome. Okay, I don't think they're going to come right out and say it, but let's try that. What the? Wait, what? Whoa. There's one result. What the? Whoa. Hello again. Article popped up just after my friend in Canada was telling me the story of her at 4 with RT Rudolph Rudy Tanzi, Harvard scientist for Epstein. I've also uploaded the following screenshots to the cloud drive I shared with you under folder Canada. Looks like some text messages. RT actually hid behind the bush outside my home. She asked me she came alone and said her uncle was waiting outside to walk us to her place. So when we walked out if my yard, he jumped out of a bush at me and scared me and said something like, I guess you don't like being scared, or that I didn't like surprises. I was just shocked to see that it was him. Anyway, as we walked in our way to her apartment, she made me walk slow with her as she walked up ahead. She kept whispering it was a setup. I don't know what the hell a setup was. Of course, they need to go deeper investigation into this, and if it is true that they were harvesting adrenochrome and organs there, it was a setup like the underground temple. They would have seen and partook in the harvesting of that stuff. I don't know what this email is about, but it seems to be about adrenochrome, but I don't understand the context of all this. Lots of emails shared here about the subject. Trying to see who it is from and who it is to. Oh my gosh. Jeffrey ordered these black buckets from China. There was blood in them. Collect the blood and ooze out around the lid. The back of a pant leg? What the? Whoa. So this was something sent to this person. Importance and normal. To and from. I don't know what this is about. It's just the Harvard scientist for Epstein. Okay. Creepy. That's the only result for adrenochrome. All right, let's go back in here. That's crazy. Yeah, I typed Clinton in. Oh, search Balenciaga. Okay, let's do that. Balenciaga. Oops. All right, spin the wheel. What? Whoa. So about 10 results. Let's start from the top. Okay, it just looks like some ads. Okay. I don't see anything here, you guys. Nope. That's a good one, though. Type in accused of murder. Oh, Mossad. Accused of murder. Accused. Murder. Accused of murder. Huh. Huh. Clinton, Trump. See if the two are mentioned together. Let's see if this works. Sometimes if you put things in quotations, it will change the search kind of. Try this. I go on some kind of taxes. Oh, let's type in Ivanka. Let's try that. $183 results. Talking about some book. And the auction, of course. Wait, what? Yes, I'm 18 or older. Whoa. Porn star alleged affair with Trump in 2011 interview. Trump said I reminded him of Ivanka. I think we already heard this. I think this was in the news. But they won't. Richard Kahn and whoever else. I think I remember that. Disgusting, right? I don't know. I didn't add Bannon as I know Ivanka hates him, though, as you said about Bedfellows, he would be a good addition if it wasn't for his baggage. Who's this? Here's some iMessages between a couple people. Senator Lawrence Krauss. Okay, dead end there. Huh. Just too much information, right? All right, what else, you guys? The ICE protest that started today. Yeah, probably to distract from all this. The ICE mercenary squad. Type in tunnels or traffic. Good one. Oh, Obama. Yeah. Let's try Obama first. Oh my gosh. Obama and then tunnels. Oh, wow. Shows up quite a bit. 2,577 results. Okay, but again, not all of this is related to wrongdoing. And a lot of this is just fluff stuff. And I don't even know why it's in the files. Let's see here. Jeez. This is just all information from his term. I don't see anything related to Epstein offhand so far, but again, there's 3,000 documents to search through. We'll go through a couple more pages here. And I'm not saying he's innocent. I believe all these people were involved. But this was definitely a scene, wasn't it? This was a New York, Florida scene that was going on between the rich and the elite. And, Obama doesn't really go down there. He's probably doing something somewhere else, but they haven't uncovered that ring yet. I'm not seeing anything so far. Tunnel. Let's look up tunnel. And underground. I think that's probably a good term to search. Whoa. Underground tunnel. What the? From Jeffrey Epstein. What? To Andrew Farkas. Who's this guy? Underground tunnel. And these are all attachments, pictures. Are you kidding me? If okay, I will have my guys paint my part at least. It is filthy and has not even been pressure washed. Probably had blood on the walls. Here are the pictures of AYH as you request. So, pictures of an underground tunnel sent from Jeffrey Epstein to this guy. Talking about it was so dirty they hadn't pressure washed the walls. Who's Andrew Farkas? Let's look it up. What the? Real estate and banking. This guy. Harvard. President of the Hasty Pudding Club. New York commercial real estate, 1990s. Unbelievable. I wonder if this is one of Trump's friends he didn't want to hurt. Now, we don't know what these underground tunnels were, but this is pretty damaging, isn't it? Who labels all these JPEGs underground tunnels? It does say underground parking and docks and buildings. Okay, let's not jump the gun. But, whoa. Okay, let's go back. Germain Amazon account? The Epstein underground tunnels. More. This is from Germain to Jeffrey Epstein. Attachment underground tunnels. Good day, boss, he says. And then he forwarded it to the other guy, the billionaire. Let's see here. That's okay. Containers in the tunnel? Hey, boss man. You okay with the moving the containers in the tunnel to assigned area? I'm about to start a major cleanup in the tunnel. And they capitalize the word tunnel. Hurricane storage. So there was a tunnel somewhere. Unbelievable. Wonder if that was on the island. Okay. Coral. Total. So they called him the boss man. Boss. What is this? The tunnel building. Six vents on the tunnel. Now they're putting like ventilation. I mean, this could be nothing, you guys, but I mean, I don't know. Cost $80,000 to dig a tunnel. Oh, they're talking about Hamas in this one. Okay. I don't know. The tunnel rabbit hole. I'm sure there's more about that as well. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, what else you guys want me to look for? That's a good one. Tunnels. So there's this tunnel is a big deal. Elon. Yeah, good one. Elon. Now, we already saw it at the beginning of the show today. Elon Musk was named by an accuser. Again, none of this ever went to court. It was kind of like the FBI kind of dropped the ball. They either discredited the person or said they didn't get a call back or whatever. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Is this an email? To Elon Musk. From subject is Jeffrey Epstein. Dated 2013. Hello, Mary Beth. Jeffrey invited Elon to a dinner party he's having here in New York. I think we already heard about this. Elon said it was possible he may be in New York and be able to attend. Just following up to see if you might know if Elon can join in. Jeffrey's home address. So I think we already heard about this because Elon Musk said he did attend the party. And let's see here. Ooh. Okay. But that's Elon Musk claimed that's his only interaction he ever had with Jeffrey Epstein. So let's see if he lied. Because if there are other interactions here, then that would mean that he lied, right? Okay, what is this here? I let Jeffrey know. He says he will see Elon at the Milken conference. Thanks so much for the invite, but I don't think Elon is going to make it to New York next week. If that changes, I will let you know ASAP. Send his regrets to Epstein, to Jeffrey. Okay. The Milken conference. Don't know what that is. Sounds creepy. Okay. Whoa. So, from Leslie to Epstein. SpaceX is located 20 miles from Hyatt in Long Beach. Elon's assistant says SpaceX is 10 minutes east of LAX. Larry has driven from the Hyatt in Long Beach to LAX and said it was a good 45-minute drive in no traffic. But with traffic, who knows how long it could take. MapQuest says blah, blah, blah. This being said, Elon can meet for lunch on Monday, February 25th at 1 p.m. at SpaceX. Or on Wednesday, February 27th, his TED Talk finishes up around lunchtime. This was back in 2013. So he would be back at SpaceX around 2 or so. His assistant says he could meet Wednesday, February 27th in the evening. What is your preference to meet with Elon? Wow. This goes a little bit deeper than we thought, doesn't it? Let's look through a couple more of these, see if there's any other connections. So we have 2 confirmed separate meetings or possible meetings. Lots of communication between the two. Their secretaries. Okay. Lunch, it's all the same thing. Jeffrey, would you like to make an appointment with Elon in Hawthorne? Okay. Wow. Some of these look related to one another. Oh, here we go. This one's 2012, so we're going back in time here. From Elon to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh. Forwarded a message. Are we in New Mexico? What? Zorro Ranch. If there is there anyone at Solar City that my guys could talk to you about electrifying the Caribbean island or the New Mexico ranch? From Jeffrey to Elon. So he's asking for Elon Musk's help to electrify Epstein Island. Is what that appears to say to me. You guys, this is bombshell. This is blown wide open. This is unbelievable. All these people knew each other. We need to wipe this slate completely clean. Like I always tell you, I would vote for the plumber, my local plumber, for president before I voted for anybody with any amount of millions of dollars. What else you guys want me to look up? Wow, and then Rooster, let's see, Solar City, Elon Musk. Let's see what the connection is there. Obviously, Musk knows the people. Oh, there you go. Elon Musk was instrumental in founding Solar City in 2006 with his cousins Peter and Lyndon Rive. So, it wasn't just one time Elon Musk went to a party. I'm shocked they haven't taken down this video. So he lied. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is important that we had to go live. I typically would never go live twice in a day, but the file's just released. Oh, Alephantis, you good one. Wow, you guys are on a roll. You guys are the best subscribers on YouTube because you use your brain. Alephantis. There we go. Spin. What do you guys think? What? What? Oh, wait. Reddit user. There's two. QAnon. Okay, no, there's nothing really. This is a Reddit post. Wait, let's look at this here. Oh, FBI. Here we go. 2020. Let's see. Control F. Aleph. Okay. Okay. Threat to life. False. Submitted text. Reddit user blank is Glenn Maxwell James Alfontis, who owns blah blah blah, made his Instagram private. He had a picture of a freezer room in the basement. He hashtagged the killing room. His accounts are blank blank. Both accounts have distributed pictures of children being tortured. You know, it's interesting, right? I caught a strike yesterday on the channel for showing children that were in a documentary that was already published, and the children happened to be holding a gun, right? And that was enough for YouTube to pull down my video. But yet, we all remember Alephantis and his Instagram posts with much, much worse. So this looks like protective order. Wait, what? What was the exact crime that occurred? Okay, so they're reporting, someone was reporting Alephantis in the pictures, I think, is what was happening here, close as I can tell, to the FBI, okay? And they're saying the claim was false. I think it says here. Threat to life. Oh no, threat to life is false. So, Anonymous provided the following information. Online tip. So there was a mention of Alephantis in the files in that context. Let's go back in with you guys here. Wow. Oh, Erica Kirk. Well, let's do France V. Let's try that, right? Because that would have been her name. Whoa. What do you guys think? France V. I'm going to fall out of my chair. Nope, no results. Erica Kirk. No results. Charlie Kirk. What? The heck? Wait. November. Okay, that was after he died. How many? 10, 11 results. Let's see here. Okay. Huh. They're just talking about the assassination. That's it. Nope, nothing really on him. Boy. Okay. Ooh, Romanian Angels. Good one. Or Romania. I'll just type in Romania. Good one. Wait, what? 800 results. Hi, Eon. I spoke to Jeffrey, and he said it's okay for you to go to Romania now. Please just let me know when you end up going and when you will be back. This was in 2012. This is when Erica Kirk was there. Hi, Sarah. How are you? I hope everything's fine. I was emailing Jeffrey last week about if we do any projects soon, and he said something like going to the island today. But then I told him that if I go island, then I have to go Romania from there because I will not be able to come back in US because I don't have visa in my passport. So it looks, this was a trafficked person from Romania. To put visa in my passport, I have to go American Embassy in Romania and approve papers. Visa. Anyway, the thing is, he didn't answer back after that. Then I emailed him again like 2 days ago and asked him if he want me to start any project in New York or go island, or if he doesn't want to do any project for the moment, I can go Romania to put visa in my passport and then come back. Wonder what these projects she's talking about. He didn't answer back. Maybe he didn't get my email or he just forgot. Can you please ask him about this? If he doesn't have any project in mind for now, maybe I can just go to Romania and finish the visa issue. Eon. So whoever this Eon guy, Eon Nicola. Let's look him up. What? Wait. Nicola. Tennis player. What? No way. This can't be the same person. Canadian tennis player. Men. What project is he going to start with Jeffrey Epstein? I wonder if he's Romanian. Let's put in Romanian. Just to confirm it's the same guy. The heck? Unbelievable. That's not him. Eon Nicola. Oh, here it is. Wait, no, this is Academy of Visual Arts, painting. United Artists Organization. Pilot? Wait, no. Weird. Let's back this up. So, projects. What kind of projects in 2012? Let's keep looking here. Same one. Projects. What airport in Romania? Oh boy, here we go. To and from, we don't know. Okay, let's start from the beginning here. Gotta go back to the... Let's do this right. Let's start from the bottom. Get a ticket back to Romania on Sunday. Thanks. From Jeffrey Epstein. To this is the same Ion Nicola. What airport in Romania? What airport in Romania? Thanks. Could I change my flight? I have my ticket round trip from Bucharest to New York. I have just to change my flight back to Bucharest. Can you get me a ticket for Sunday to New York? So he's buying tickets for this Eon guy. I have a luggage in my New York. Ooh. Eon. Nicola Erica Kirk. Let's see if she knows him. Eon. A weird name. See if she knows Eon. Now, if you're just tuning in, we're going through the brand new released Epstein files. We just read about a dozen accusations, different stories from different people that reported to the FBI with similar stories of auctions of women and young girls in the presence of Epstein and Donald Trump. Several different people calling in from different places, reporting the same activity. We're also word searching the files, the new files, to see if there's anything that we could pull out. We found some crazy stuff about some tunnels that weren't pressure washed. They were so dirty. And we found all kinds of stuff, you guys. This is crazy. We got now Epstein buying tickets for Ion Nicola to fly back to Romania. And Eon begging him to work on these projects. We can do projects here and projects there, but we don't know what the projects are. We're trying to figure this out. This was back in 2015, it looks like. Is this right before he got arrested? Maybe? So, ticket. So, Epstein's giving him tickets. Gosh, this guy's a... He's like badgering him. Where's my ticket? My seats, my tickets, my seats. Weird. So what is this? Eon Nicola. Doesn't look like Erica Kirk knows him. At least based on a simple search. I'd really like to know who this Eon Nicola guy is. Could be the tennis player. Could be this guy. Anyway, let's move on from that. We don't want to get too bogged down. But we were looking up Romania. Jeez. Romania. Now, the Romanian aspect is important because it is ground zero for human trafficking, or was. So that's why we're word searching that. Ooh, here we go. What the heck? 2 girls? Let's go back. What is this? Start from the bottom. Thanks, Leslie. Hello, Martin. Jeffrey requested I get the name of the university in Romania that you got the people from. This was 2009. Dear Leslie, which people? Does he mean membrane computing? Good morning, Martin. Yes, that is who Jeffrey means. What's membrane computing? Let's look that up. In Romania. Uses living cells for computing. What the heck is going on? Wow. Is this Romania? Wow. The rabbit hole goes deep, you guys. Let's keep reading this. Dear Karina, could you please reply to Leslie? Maybe CC Jeffrey. Now, who is Leslie? Is this Les Wexner? Can't tell. No, Leslie Groff. Okay, so it's someone else. Okay, let's keep reading here. Hi, Leslie. The two girls were both from the University of Iasi in Romania. This is the oldest university in Romania and what used to be our capital a few centuries ago. Please let me know if Jeffrey needs more information. Best, Karina. So they got two girls from the University of Iasi in Romania. This membrane computing. Well, they were at the university, so I guess they weren't underaged. Unless, I think they might, wait a minute. I think in Europe they call university high school. Hold on. University of Iasi, Romania. Okay. Here it is here. Let's make sure we get the age groups right. I think it's college. So creepy. Inside the world of rich people, right? Oh, Wallachia, that's Dracula. Doesn't say. I think it's just college. Okay, let's go back. Romania. Some kind of organic chemistry professor. I told Jeffrey this. Besides, I'm in Romania. Is it the same guy again? Eon? Yep, it's this Eon again running his mouth. Sounds good. I will speak to Jeffrey and get back to you. Thanks. Yes, I'm available, but sometime after October 10th, if that is possible. I told already Jeffrey this. Besides, I'm in Romania. I have my ticket back to New York October 15th. So maybe better to go to Paris directly from Romania. Hi, Eon. Please let me know if you are available to go to Paris to paint. Remember, artwork is trafficking. So the painting and projects, this is all about, I believe this is about trafficking. Because why would she ask Eon to go to Paris to paint? That makes no sense. Unless Eon's a painter. What? Projects? I mean, he could be doing paintings for him. But the thing is, have we seen any paintings in the Epstein files that were done by this guy Eon? Let's put an Eon Nicola painter. Okay, so he is a visual arts painter, apparently. Okay. Maybe he painted some pictures. I guess this is him. Okay, we're not here to spread disinformation, but this is a rabbit hole we have to kind of get down to the bottom of, right? So, apparently this guy does visual arts. Wow, creepy. Okay, let's keep looking here. Desperate fellow, huh? Okay, let's double down on this Romania thing, because I think we're getting close to something. Organic chemistry. And then I'll be back in the chat, you guys. Eon the painter, yeah, it says right here. In Romania, fell while skiing and got hurt. His shoulders affected his hand. He has gone to Romania for treatment. This is unbelievable. Everything's about Eon in Romania. And he's got problems flying in his visa. And he broke his arm skiing. Here's a girl from Romania. From Rich to Jeffrey Epstein. Please confirm the wire of $10,000 to the recipient in the attached email. What? Now, remember, when things are blacked out, that means possibly that's a victim. Here is the information for the girl from Romania who will receive $10,000. So there you go. A wire transfer for a girl to a girl in Romania. Now, we don't know what was unbelievable. 2009. We don't know exactly what was going on with this, but that looks shady, doesn't it? The Bank of Transylvania. How much creepier does it get? So, confirmed Eon is a painter. Did Eon respond to you about going to PB to do the wall before he goes to Romania? Oh my gosh. Okay. Jeez. I'd like to know what happened with this girl from who got $10,000. Bank of Transylvania. That's interesting. Huh. Lots of painting going on, right? Gosh, this guy was desperate. Now he's asking for money to stay somewhere. This was in 2010. Sorry I couldn't meet you last week, Jeffrey. From blank. They got the name blanked out. I'm still in Romania. I was in the countryside for a while. I didn't have internet access. Anyway, I wanted to ask you for a favor if you don't mind. And if you're not in a rush with doing some rooms, I need to stay somewhere a little longer in Romania. Till beginning of September. I have to deal with some family stuff. It's a religious thing. Even I'm not into religion, but my mother want me to be back at the end of the month. Okay. So this is Eon. Wonder why they blacked out his name, because he's an adult. So why would they? Because we know this is Eon because of the way he's talking, and he's a painter, right? And he's talking about the painting in his office. Huh. Somehow I thought you were not going to hire me again because I didn't get paid for the last 2 months of work. My invoice was approximately $11,000. Even I asked Leslie, Darren, Rich, Khan. I never got an answer. They said they're going to check and they will let me know, but then nothing. I didn't get even approximately $300, and I paid for materials and sent... Gosh, this guy's a whiner, isn't he? Sorry, guys. It's just like, wow. Let's keep seeing here. If we can get past Eon, we can get to the meat of this Romania stuff. Gosh. Huh. From blank to Jeffrey Edwards. I'll go for a few days to Romania to bring everything I need to London. My boyfriend bought a flight ticket for me. I'll move in today, later this afternoon, to the new apartment. I'm still at my friend's place. She will help me move later. I haven't discussed yet anything with blank about the salary or the program. Do you think I should ask now? Wait until I start on the 12th of July. Kisses. That's to Jeffrey Edwards. I don't know who that is. Maybe that's an alias for Epstein? I don't know. Weird. Oh, here we go. Santa Fe. Living room in Paris. Do some work in Santa Fe. Can I go to Santa Fe? Got the people from. It's kind of tedious, isn't it? But I feel like we're getting close to something here. Wait, what? Two. Why do you say I'm terrific? I didn't ask him to send you the bill. If you don't feel like helping me with this, I'll find a solution. I'll run in Romania. What the? From Jeffrey Epstein to blank. I'm confused. Did you tell him that you couldn't pay before he started the work? Did he tell you how much it would cost? What would you like me to do? I think you were terrific. Why did he send me the bill? You need to find out how much it will cost to fix. Romanian blank are the problem, not the cure. Person says I can't afford to pay him. Whoever this person is. It is. I got really scared of what he told me yesterday. That is a huge mess with all of my blank on all of them. And he doesn't change the surface now. In 3 years, we'll have to put blank. It's too expensive here, so I'd better have them done in Romania because it's much cheaper. What? These people talking about? Whatever. Weird. To Jeffrey Epstein from somebody in 2009. I dreamed about you last night. I wanted to write you this morning, but I forgot. I dreamed very funny, though, that you came to Romania. But you were not alone. You had a little boy with you, your son, but he was quite old. He was around 5 years old. I was surprised in my dream, so I had to tell you. How is it to be home? Come back soon. Weird. Talking about some shows scheduled in Romania. Maybe we should go to the end, come back the other direction. It's like asking him to sponsor him for his visa. Creepy. Let's go to the end of this. Last. Go from the other end. Huh. We'll do one more, then we'll hop onto something else, you guys. From Jeffrey Epstein. 2. We don't know. I do not like your telling me I Donnan. I trust you when I give you advice that is right, but you do not like. It's not as much as a school as a qualification you achieve by doing this course. Exam, blah, 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 whatever that is. It is a fake school. Sorry, the degree certificates mean nothing. It is a money-making operation with no real importance for the student. I wonder who this Eon guy is. I wonder if that's Epstein's son or something. He's talking to him like a dad, isn't he? Or something. He's like paying for his school or offering to pay for his school, sponsoring his visa. Oh, then Epstein says, I would like to help. This school is not a real school. 3 years ago, I did say that I would put you through a real school. You said no. You wanted to model and live with your boyfriend. 2 years ago, I tried to get you to go to school and stop trying to model. I introduced you to Lyndon. I still would like to help, but these fake academies that offer certificates in marketing are only set up to take advantage of people. You need a real plan of the future. I don't know. Seems weird. Huh. Okay, let's check in with you guys and hop on to some other things. The Romania rabbit hole was pretty much a dead end. I mean, there were probably 70 plus more pages we could have went through, but I just didn't feel like doing that. There may be something there, though. Someone wants to do the Romania rabbit hole and then put it in the comments of this show. That would help. Just go through each of the pages. There was like, probably 200 pages. No, there was like 90 pages. Oh, stretch it out. Okay, what else, you guys? Prince Andrew. Well, we already know all that. We know what he did. Melania. Good one, Snowball. We already looked up Erica. Let's look up Melania. Let's see here. $833 times. Wait, no, 123 times. Wait, what? Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, Melania. Wait. Achilles heel, Melania. Transcript. Melania also focused on dates of corn star before birth of Baron or after. They also now have 2 army people escorting her kids to school. This is from Epstein to Michael Wolff. He says that she's his Achilles heel. Here's one from Laura Woods to blank. Klein looks very much like Melania Trump. Respectfully submitted, Laura Woods. Wait, what? This was 2002. Dear G, how are you? Nice story about Jeffrey Epstein in New York Mag. Okay, you guys remember this? Remember they did a whole like expose, well not expose, but like this is when Jeffrey Epstein was popular and no one knew what he did back in 2002. It says, "You look great on the picture. I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in New York. Have a great time. Love, Melania." What? Melania emailing Ghislaine Maxwell. In 2002. This is what it looks like, right? Wants to go visit, wants to go hang out. Well, okay, when did Trump marry her? Whoa, bombshell. See, they redacted this, but they didn't redact the love Melania. When did Trump marry Melania? 2005. So this email suggests she calls her G because it's like personalized, right? Because she knows her really well. This has to be Ghislaine Maxwell. Complimenting her about the article in New York Magazine. So, Ghislaine knew Jeffrey, knew Melania. They were all hanging out. And Trump didn't marry her till 3 years after this email. Wow. I mean, am I getting this wrong, you guys? Let me check in with you. Did we get this wrong? What do you think? Yes, Cannon. Yeah, we knew that. We knew Trump was the ringleader. It's the day of our movie? You kidding me? This is 2002. Let's see. When did Trump start dating Melania? Trump start dating Melania. Okay, gotta make sure I get this right. Okay, so he was already dating her. Okay, 1998. So, okay. You could say, okay, well, there's pictures of the three of them together. They all knew each other. Melania sent her an email. They were friends, right? So I guess this isn't like a huge bombshell. Because Trump already knew her. He was already dating her. But, you know, these people were cozy. That's the takeaway from this. Way cozier than they let on, right? Okay, so I'm glad we dug down on that. Because I'm not here to, you know, spread misinformation. We're trying to get down to the bottom of this. Let's keep going through Melania. What? Whoa. 2019. So Epstein was already, like, busted. Okay. It says here, in the White House, President, general surprise, announced that he would not accompany his family to Mar-a-Lago over the holidays. A confounding, even alarming turn for anyone who knew how much he valued golf and warm weather opportunity over any presidential business. Melania certainly had no intention of staying behind. Okay, so Melania didn't think that was funny. Okay, so nothing really to see there. Whoa. This is 2016. I simply cannot believe this victory. No one called it. We all thought she'd win. So they're talking about Hillary Clinton. You must be happy, though. This is from whoever to Jeffrey Epstein. Whoa. No one called it. We all thought she'd win. You must be happy, though. I remember flying back with Donald on his plane. The first weekend I went to visit you in Florida was the weekend he met Melania. And he kept on coming out of the bedroom saying, wow, what a hot piece of ass. What? Nuts. Anyway, hope you're enjoying Saudi. Who sent this? Wow. Okay, we need to go back in time. Wish there was a way to do that. Huh. 2018 from Epstein. Ooh. Looks like Michael Wolff, he asked him how he's holding up. He says, holding up his shithole country's comment, I will sign whatever is put in front of me, clearly shows cracks in his mental state. Transcripts could drive him over the edge if the Melania story doesn't come out. Whoa, so there's a Melania story, like most of us realized was the case. Now this was after, they started investigating him. Unbelievable. Wait, what? Some journalist working a lead on Melania boyfriend? Huh. To Jeffrey Epstein from Michael Wolff. Wait, what? From Ghislaine Maxwell to... Uh-oh. Let's read this. Sweet Pea, thanks for your message. Actually, plans changed again, and I am now on my way back to New York. I leave again on Friday, so I still do not think I have time to see you, sadly. I will try and call, though. How are you? Nice story about... Okay, that's the... Oh, this was Melania. So, this is Ghislaine Maxwell replying to Melania's message. And so they were like hanging out. Says she can't hang out. She'll reply, though. And then, so, yeah. Whoa. Melania from da-da-da-da. Subject. Okay. So that was Ghislaine Maxwell's reply. What? iMessages. Weird. Whoa. Clinton states... Oh, let's read this one. Some yacht trip. Interview of purported Epstein victim. Let's go to the bottom here and read our way up. Looks like some FBI official seals. Should be a good one. Okay. Blank on Tuesday, August 27th, 2019, myself and SA conducted an interview of a purported victim of Epstein as per referral by former FBI and journalist Michael Moore, not the filmmaker. The results are as follows. So this is an interview with the victim. At 1200 hours, a male identified as one blank blank arrived at the C20 office, stated he was unemployed and resides with his mother and her unemployed, morbidly obese boyfriend. Stated he ingested hallucinogenic mushrooms as well as other illicit substances in the past and currently smokes marijuana. So they're already trying to discredit this guy. Reported being raped by his great uncle since the age of 5. Described meeting Epstein at a yacht club. And of his relatives were members, first at age 5 and later at age 8. He was raped by Epstein in 2000 on a large yacht, as well as by former U.S. President Bill Clinton. States also the current President Trump, along with his wife Melania, were present during the yacht trip in 2000. Trump not married to his current spouse Melania until 2005. Reports, while being raped by Epstein and Clinton, he was in heavy drug-induced state. Stated all the above incidents were recovered repressed memories. Gosh, I hate it when they say that because it discredits it, doesn't it? Because they're under the influence of the drug. They should just say what they remember, you know? Offered no supporting or corroborating evidence or witnesses that could be contacted. Appeared to be emotionally unbalanced and not intoxicated. You can see how they're framing this interview, though, to discredit him, right? At this time, it's not recommended that any additional investigative resources be expended concerning the claim. So, essentially, it's a cover-up. Then there's another person. Let's see here. So here's the continuation. I'd like to add a few other points disclosed by the purported victim. While on the yacht, he witnessed African-American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding. Whoa. He was a victim of type ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar, but left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being taken apart and their insides were, oh my gosh. And individuals are eating their insides. He says he was also raped by George Bush. Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who is the creator of The True Pundit, described by multiple online sources as a conspiracy-driven news website. Wow. That story sounds horrific. Now understand that the FBI may be seeding their own sensationalized victims to destabilize the story, right? We know that they do this. So some of these stories are not going to be true, but they do that to muddy the water so that the real victims will not be believed. There's a term that they use for that, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Wow. Because, you know, for someone to make such a claim like that to not be true, you would think that the FBI would arrest them, right? Or that they would be sued for defamation. Okay. We're almost to the end of Melania, and I think we'll end the show after we finish Melania. And then I'll just be on this tonight and tomorrow and over the weekend and see what else I can find, you guys. Do me a favor, in the comment section, just write a list of all the search words you want me to, like, even if your comment just has like 5 search words, just please separate them by one line, and I can go through some of those and see what I could find. That would help me. Okay, we're almost to the end of Melania. Boy. This is from 2010 from Margot Rogers, and this is probably Jeffrey Epstein. This is just a different email account. G Vacation is probably Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Back in September, Oliver had invited Donald Trump to dinner at 21 to meet his leading men, Josh and Shia. This is Oliver Stone. so they could observe New York's most charismatic power broker in his natural environment. Now Donald is ready for the close-up at Tommy Gunn's salon on Ludlow Street on the Lower East Side. Donald is on set at 7 a.m. He's trying to make a midday off of his jet from Teterboro with wife Melania and son Barron for Thanksgiving in Palm Beach. So, nothing really to see there. Now here's the claim. I think this is the claim. Control F, introduce. This looks like some kind of article. See, it's all the same players. Kevin Spacey. Whoa, creepy. This looks like WhatsApp messages. So they're talking about House Intelligence Committee probing Melania friend. A lot about Melania's boyfriend. Huh. Here's an FBI report, looks like. Someone made a claim. In or around 2016, Blank met Melania Trump and Barron Trump. Blank was tutoring Spanish to another student who was 11 to 12 years old. The student's Blank knew Melania and dished about Melania's marriage to Trump, saying that it was a battered marriage. Okay, it's nothing really there. Huh. So, okay. Okay, here we go. Second trip was in February. She arrived at 2002. She arrived at Epstein apartment in Manhattan. But this time, 2 or 3 young women were already there. They all flew in Epstein's private jet, including Mrs. Maxwell, down to Epstein residence in Florida. Blank heard the people inside the jet that the Queen of England's designer was among the passengers. Blank recalls one of the girls getting sick during the flight and taken to the local hospital. After everyone got into the house, Blank was ushered inside Epstein's master bedroom, where a woman she later on found out was the real estate person for Epstein, gave Blank a massage. Epstein entered the room, grabbed a towel, slapped Blank on her butt, and said, "If you want, you can join the other girls in the jacuzzi." Blank didn't join the other girls because she thought it was very weird. Blank and the other girls, along with Epstein and Maxwell, went to Mar-a-Lago, shake hands with President Trump and his wife Melania, and with Regis Philbin and his wife as well. Blank said there was some type of sorority celebration, but the details are very fuzzy at the moment. Blank said the group made plans to go to the Caribbean. Blank refused to go because she was blank blank. The girls seemed to have been underage and very close. Blank didn't talk to them much, just casual conversation. Epstein gave Blank only cash money for whatever she needed to buy during her visits. Blank, after leaving Florida, never heard from Epstein or Maxwell again. So this was a report about all of them planning a trip to the Caribbean and some sorority thing and underage girls. So take from that what you will. That seems a little more vague, I guess, if I had to be honest. Wait, what? Prince Andrew. Okay, I don't see anything there. $2020. Oh. Don't know what the point of that one was. Getting close to the end of this, you guys. All right, I think we'll end the show there. I just reached my limit. I mean, this could go on forever, right? All right, you guys. I'm gonna end the show there. Thanks for showing up. I will see you guys on Sunday, and I'll probably report anything else that I find on Sunday. I love you guys, and hang in there. Take care. Much love.